Good morning, everybody. This is Lorraine.
And Jennifer, and I am very excited for today. This is huge, Lorraine. You have officially made it past the mark of having 1,000 conversations, which just blows my mind. In the fact of, I have my own podcast, and I think I'm at like 100 and something, and I'm like, yeah, I've done a lot, and then I'm like, no, I really haven't.
The first thing I'm going to say to that is, you know me, and how hard is it for me to talk?
Not hard.
Not hard, but no, it is a big deal, and it's funny because if you'd asked me when I was running around with my iPhone recording conversations with people, that I would still be doing it. 1,000 conversations, and almost 15 years later, I'd have told you you were crazy.
No, but you had foresight before a lot of people on having those conversations and the importance of having those
Mhm.
conversations. And I just congratulations on, that you were way ahead of the game that a lot of people are trying to jump in now. And I'm not surprised.
You know what? I live on the bleeding. I lived. I still do. I live on the bleeding edge.
You
It's
do.
fun.
You
I
do.
do. The thing about the podcasting and that has really done for me is I have learned so much from so many of my guests, things I didn't know, I wouldn't have thought about. And podcasting gave me an opportunity to dive into those topics and meet some amazing people.
Yeah, it's the power of being open-minded and getting outside of your own way and your own thinking and talking to those people. So, I mean, how did you get started in it? And like, what's the difference between 15 years ago and today?
So it started as an experiment. I had an intern who walked into my office and said, Lorraine, you like to talk. Well, yeah,
Duh.
actually, I do. And he said, I think you should do a podcast. And I looked at him and I thought, okay, what exactly is a podcast? And he's like, well, I've been studying this in school and here's how we would do it. And so the early episodes were the very, very early episodes. We just recorded them on my iPhone and he put them up there and that was great. And then we started to formalize it. And in the early days, a lot of people were thinking about podcasting like internet radio. I mean, my early episodes were on Blog Talk Radio. And so you were locked into a format to try to sound like a radio program.
Hmm.
30 minutes, introduction, rambling, blah, blah, blah. We even did a live call in show. Anybody out there, if you're thinking of doing that, don't. Don't.
Don't.
But we also, and I think so that's one of the things I think that's really changed is people are not locked into radio show format anymore. And I think podcasts have this wonderful different approach. I mean, when you and Brenna do your show, it's a very casual, informal, and it goes as long as it has to go, right?
Right. Yeah, there's no rules. We're just having a conversation. And I think that is what's great about your show is that you're just having conversations with some great experts and you've had over 1,000 of them. So
Well, and a lot, some of those conversations are really just me talking to my audience,
Mhm.
and a lot of the conversations. There was a period there where I was just talking to Allison, who worked with me, and we were doing a lot more research, and so the learning was coming in as we got up to speed on a topic, kind of like the format you guys have now.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, one of the huge benefits of podcasting and what I really like for the user of I'm listening to a show and for you that is doing a show is just the idea generation of hearing how other people think that allows me to be like, "Oh, well, I hadn't thought about it from that aspect." And so I love podcasting and I obviously love doing live shows because it just brings out more stuff.
It absolutely does. And one of the other things that we did in the early days, and it has more to do with the fact that Twitter has changed, and I really haven't found another medium that works quite the same way. But when we would do the show live, we would be live tweeting. We had somebody who was sitting in the room just live tweeting. And if a comment came across from Twitter, we would incorporate that into the conversation.
Yeah.
And that was really fun. But yeah, Twitter.
It's changed. So you know, I heard the term, it's like it's asynchronous
Mhm,
now.
mhm,
And so like we don't have expectations that we're going to have a lot of people show up to this live show. You don't have expectations when you're doing a podcast that you're going to have people that actually, you know, are live
mhm,
listening, but
mhm.
you know they're going to listen on their own time.
Well, and I think that was the thing that I loved about podcasting, and actually why I'm such a consumer of podcasts
Yeah.
is I'm on the go. I pop my headphone in and I can listen and to a range of topics or a range of conversations
Yeah.
and get to my destination, whether I'm walking or driving, whether I'm working out at the gym.
Yeah.
And
Gardening.
gardening, we're all busy people. We all have other things that we're doing. And podcasting lets us occupy the brain a little bit while we're engaged in things that maybe don't require that.
Yeah.
And yeah, I love it. And I'll tell you one of my other favorite things about podcasting is I've met some really interesting people. And I was in Boston two, three, several years ago, we'll go with. I don't remember exactly when. But one of my podcast guests lived in Boston.
Oh,
I'd never met Susan in person. And I sent her a note. I said, "Hey, I'm going to be in Boston. Want to have breakfast?"
oh, that's awesome.
And it is such a nice way to meet people and really form. I have people who have been not just guests on the show, but wrote articles for my book. And it's
Genuine conversations. You are having genuine conversations, which is what it's really about, instead
that.
of just shouting at people, "Hey, look at me." You're actually doing the work, and you're doing the same thing over on LinkedIn. Like, you're doing the work that's necessary.
It, these are marketing tactics that fit and are natural for me and natural for my brand. And I think that's really the key as you're trying to build your own brand to figure out video is really popular right now, but ooh, I really hate that.
Yeah,
Or blogging is really important, but I can't put two words together. Then don't find the medium, find the way that works for you.
yeah.
Yeah, I have to admit, I came to video slowly because I really liked the audio only format. It allowed me to record conversations in my pajamas.
Yeah. Now see, I came to video first before
Hmm.
podcasting, and I started doing videos back in 2019, and I
Hmm.
look back at some of my original videos, and they're not that great quality, but I have 0 problem being in front of a camera and talking and having that, like, that doesn't bother me at all, and so that was the easiest for me.
Yeah, and so you played to what was natural for you.
Mhm.
It's not that I'm camera shy. I just had higher standards for what the video should look like. And even though that's not what the market was expecting, it wasn't what
It's
everybody
what you grew
else
up
was.
with.
It's what I grew up with, and it was what I was like, no, I can't do that. I mean, I can do that, but
Yeah.
ooh, yeah, yeah.
I had a little reservations at first, even with talking, that I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna say something that I shouldn't say," and, like, this conversation is no different than what I would have with a client, so why are you
Mhm.
worried about it? Like, you know how to filter there, so just go out and have the conversation.
Absolutely. And it is disposable. And that I think is the thing you have to keep in mind is that people won't remember unless you just do something really horrible, which is why I don't do live podcasts
Yeah,
because if something goes wrong, I want to have the opportunity to clean it up. I don't have to do a lot of cleaning,
but
but Um,
So, you're celebrating this. It's a huge accomplishment. What do you want your listeners to know?
well, actually, I think most of the time when somebody has an anniversary or a big accomplishment, they want a gift. I don't. I actually want to give people something. And so, yeah, see, I'm present. If you leave a comment here or anywhere on social media, congratulating me on 1,000 episodes, send me a note, leave a review congratulating me. I will send you a discount code for the digital toolbox that will give you free, unlimited, lifetime access to all of the content in the toolbox.
Wow. That's a big giveaway there, guys.
It is, but it's also really what the show is about and what I'm about. And the people that hang in, that have followed me, that are listening to the things I'm talking about, I got
Supporting.
a gift for you.
Yeah.
So leave a note in the comments, shoot me an email, post it on any social media post. Congratulations on 1,000, and I'll send you the code.
There you go. Well, I'll say congratulations here, and then I'm gonna have to go later and go comment. All right. Well, take care, everyone.
Bye now.